whew, it's weird talking about one of the best directed and just one of the movies that was made with so much love and attention to detail, like Pearl, and now we have to go and talk about a completely 180, just different movie in Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Now I gotta say, I actually saw the tickets available for this movie as I was getting my tickets for Pearl, and I was extremely excited. I am a huge Jeepers Creepers fan. I know the controversy behind it. I know what Victor Salva did, and I'm thankful that I can do this, but I can easily separate the art from the artist, and I can enjoy the first two Jeepers Creepers movies. Notice I said the first two Jeepers Creepers movies because the third one is also a really bad movie, and sad news is, this new movie, I think we saw it from the trailers. If you've been following along, you kind of know this movie is more like Jeepers Creepers 3 than it is Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, and that breaks my heart because I think the Creeper is easily one of the best horror icons, one of the best modern horror icons, and what they're doing to him is just so disrespectful because of a director, what one person did. And I know this is kind of, his child. He really worked a lot on the Creeper itself, and a lot of it, goes to him. I can't take that away from him just because I don't like who the person is. He did, I think, by himself, Victor Salva created the Creeper, or at least, his team. So I can't take that away from him, even though I really don't condone any of his actions or himself at all. I just, it's a weird subject that I'd rather not get into, but you can't take that away from him. Now, when we do take that away from him, we get Jeepers Creepers Reborn, and we kind of have to do something different. It's almost like a soft reboot, and clearly the studio had no faith in this movie, and it breaks my heart because the Creeper can easily be an amazing character, and it can easily give us amazing horror movies, and it can give us an amazing horror franchise if we are able to look away from what Victor Salva did and give this movie more money, give this franchise the money that it deserves to really create the Creeper as a horror icon like I think he is. So going into this movie, it was like a special event or something like that I was watching it in the theaters, and we got a very it was kind of hard to tell if the director meant what he said or if he was just saying it for like the paycheck. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I couldn't really read his body language. Obviously, what he says is, thank you, a lot of hard work. And I'm sure a lot of hard work was put into this movie, but it could just be half-assed just to make us, more excited, make us feel like we're part of the team, just to get us to appreciate the movie more. Who knows? I don't know. I couldn't tell if he meant it or if he was just BSing us just so we can, we already got the money, we're sitting down in movie theaters watching already. We already paid for it. But I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like there's a lot of homage to the first couple of Jeepers Creepers movies, but at the same time, I don't know if it's really just the budget, but this is clearly a sci-fi movie. It's up there with Sharknado. It's up there with Jeepers Creepers 3, and it breaks my heart seeing it because this horror icon has been in my life since I was young. Jeepers Creepers, the first Jeepers Creepers movie, scared the absolute shit out of me when I first saw it, and I love it now. It's a classic in my opinion, and just seeing what they're doing to this character because of one director absolutely breaks my heart. They have no trust, they have no faith in this franchise, in this character, and if that's the kind of production value that you're putting into this character, then you should just retire him because there is no point. This movie, I don't want to sound hurtful or rude because I'm sure they had their hands tied simply because budget reasons. This is a horrible movie. It's a sci-fi movie. You know what you're gonna get yourself into. It's very cheap. Oh my god, the backgrounds just they were just the most basic wallpapers, and you can clearly see the fucking green screen. It's a bad movie. None of the actors, you don't know, and it just breaks my heart because I'm feeling like I'm talking shit about these people that are really trying to make it in Hollywood. They're taking pretty much whatever role they could because they want to get their names out there. And maybe the director's the same way. He's making this movie just so he can get his name out there. I don't like talking shit about this movie simply because the studio wants to be an asshole and not give this, production the money that it deserves to actually make a really good horror movie. But yeah, the acting is bad all around. There's no good acting. Acting is bad all around. The direction, editing, it's a cheap sci-fi movie. There's no way around it. It's a piece of shit. I don't like saying that. It sounds rude. I'm sure there were people that really just tried their best. But no offense to them. If you really tried your best to make this movie and try to make the best Jeepers Creepers movie that you can, because you know how much the fans love this character, thank you. I would rather have a movie come out being bad than no movie at all with no attention. And I know I just said you should have just put it to rest. You should have just retired the character. But if you tried, I can appreciate that. Now, as soon as I realized the production value of this movie, as soon as I realized just what kind of movie I was getting myself into, I knew from the trailer, but I was hoping I would get something. But as soon as I found out that I wasn't gonna get that, I decided to turn my brain off and enjoy it for what it was. And pretty much, there wasn't that many people in the audience with me, in the theater. So I think we all just decided to have a good time and just laugh at the movie. It sounds a little disrespectful, sounds a little rude, but it's the only way that it was enjoyable. And we were just laughing our asses off at the bad CGI. At that point, everybody was talking in the movie theater. We were all just having a really good time because the creeper, some scenes he looks a little good, but sadly it's the scenes where he's in the dark. That's why he looks good, because he's covered up. When you fully see him, some of it isn't bad. Some of the makeup isn't bad, but there are other scenes that are just completely CGI. There's one scene where towards the end, they pick up this pole and they throw it, and it just looks absolutely horrible that I couldn't stop laughing at it. I took my little brother to go see this because he's a huge Jeepers Creepers fan as well, and we laughed our asses off throughout this movie. There are no redeeming characters, and there was only one character I was rooting for to survive. It was this redneck character, and the only reason I was rooting for him to survive is because I told myself, look, Roberto, you got to pick someone to root for. Entertain yourself. Really, just do what you can and find one character and hope that that character can be enjoyable to watch for the rest of the movie. And yeah, that character was enjoyable to watch for the entire movie. Yeah, pretty much this movie is about two people, a couple going to a festival, and then they win a ticket to go to an escape room, a private escape room, and the creeper shows up and shit starts happening. Best way I can describe this movie, I mean, they just pulled a script out of their ass, really. Let's be honest. They weren't trying to make anything convoluted, anything interesting, and anything fun. They were just, what can we do just to make as much money as we can? No effort thrown into this movie from at least the studio. I don't know about the director or the cast or anybody who, behind the scenes, who was really trying to pour their heart and soul into this character because they actually love it. But from what we got, this movie's bad. This movie's shitty. What I can say is, give them your money for this movie. And I know it sounds weird because I'm just bashing it, but maybe if we give them some money in this movie, it'll give them the idea that maybe they can put a little more production value into the sequel or a reboot, since honestly I wouldn't even mind a whole reboot, just completely change this franchise again. Because really that's all they're looking for. How much money can we make off this cheap piece of shit? But if we surprise them and we give them more money than they thought they would make, maybe they would put more money into a sequel and actually give us a good Jeepers Creepers movie like I think the fans deserve. I know it's a risk, we give them our money, and then who knows, maybe they just pull out another piece of shit, hoping that they can make, the same money before. I doubt anybody's gonna give them their money. Nobody's gonna give them their money, okay? It's just a mess. We're not getting anything better. Can't recommend watching this. But, thanks for watching.